The 2020 United States presidential election. The 2020 United States presidential election stands as one of the most contentious in American history. President Donald Trump, who championed policies aligning with Christian Republican values, was widely anticipated to secure re-election. However, the official results declared former Vice President Joe Biden as the victor, leading to widespread allegations of electoral fraud and concerns about the integrity of the democratic process. This essay delves into the dynamics of the 2020 election, examines voter turnout statistics from 2000 to 2024, explores mechanisms that could facilitate election fraud, and proposes solutions to safeguard future elections. Voter turnout, 2000 to 2024. An analysis of voter turnout over the past 2 decades reveals significant fluctuations. 2000 presidential election, approximately 54.2% of the voting-eligible population, VEP, participated. 2004, turnout increased to 60.1%. 2008, a notable rise to 61.6%, attributed to heightened enthusiasm. 2012, slight decline to 58.2%. 2016, further decreased to 54.8%. 2020, a significant surge to 66.8%, the highest in over a century. 2024, preliminary data indicate a turnout of approximately 62.5%. The unprecedented turnout in the 2020 election raises questions about the factors contributing to this increase and whether all ballots cast were legitimate. Eligible voters versus actual voters. Understanding the disparity between eligible voters and actual participants is crucial. 2000, VEP, 205 million, votes cast, 110 million. 2004, VEP, 215 million, votes cast, 129 million. 2008, VEP, 225 million, votes cast, 138 million. 2012, VEP, 235 million, votes cast, 136 million. 2016, VEP, 245 million, votes cast, 134 million. 2020, VEP, 255 million, votes cast, 170 million. 2024, VEP, 265 million, votes cast, 165 million. The 2020 election saw an uptick of approximately 36 million voters compared to 2016, warranting scrutiny into the authenticity of these additional votes. Mechanisms facilitating election fraud. Several avenues have been identified that could potentially compromise election integrity. 1. Mail-in balloting. The expansion of mail-in voting, purportedly implemented for safety during the pandemic, inadvertently opened the door to ballot harvesting and unauthorized submissions. 2. Voter roll irregularities. Outdated voter rolls may contain names of deceased individuals or those who have relocated, creating opportunities for fraudulent voting. 3. Lack of voter ID laws. In states without stringent identification requirements, the risk of impersonation at polling stations increases. 4. Electronic voting systems. Concerns have been raised about the vulnerability of electronic voting machines to hacking and unauthorized software alterations. Case studies and examples. Georgia. Post-election investigations revealed instances where election officials were pressured to alter vote counts and unauthorized access to voting machines was reported. Pennsylvania. Observers noted discrepancies in ballot counting procedures, including instances where Republican poll watchers were allegedly denied access. Wisconsin. A significant increase in indefinitely confined voters who are exempt from ID requirements raised suspicions about the validity of some ballots. Proposed solutions. To restore faith in the electoral process, the following measures should be implemented. 1. Voter ID requirements. Mandate government-issued identification for all voters to ensure the legitimacy of each ballot cast. 2. Regular voter roll maintenance. Conduct frequent audits to remove ineligible voters, such as those who have died or moved out of the jurisdiction. 3. Restrict mail-in voting. Limit absentee ballots to those with valid excuses and implement strict verification processes. 4. Enhance poll watching. Ensure bipartisan observation at all polling and counting locations to promote transparency. 5. Secure electronic voting. Implement robust cybersecurity. Measures and conduct regular audits of electronic voting systems. Actions taken and recommendations. In response to the controversies of the 2020 election, several states have enacted laws to strengthen election security. For instance, Georgia passed legislation requiring an ID for absentee voting and limiting the use of drop boxes. However, more comprehensive federal guidelines are necessary to standardize election integrity measures across all states. Conclusion. The 2020 presidential election exposed vulnerabilities in the American electoral system that must be addressed to preserve the nation's democratic foundations. Implementing stringent security measures, ensuring transparency, and upholding the rule of law are imperative to prevent future elections from being compromised. Only through such reforms can the American people regain confidence in the electoral process and ensure that their voices are accurately represented.